So when you think rockabilly music, what do you think of? Hillbillies? Rocks? Yeah, me too. And the reason I came up with this lesson is thanks entirely to this awesome Framus master-built Bigsby style guitar. It's got the Bigsby bridge on it. Check out the link down in the description if you want to see the specs on this bad boy. While rockabilly music may not be your favorite genre of music, there are actually a couple of strategies to playing efficiently in this genre that can apply to other genres of music, and most notably your improvising. So this is a sort of hack to not only learn a little tidbit of new genre-specific information, but also apply some potentially new concepts to your guitar playing. And the first thing we're going to talk about is how to play through changes. For example, if we have a 12-bar blues in the key of A, there are a couple ways to attack a progression like that. The first way would be to simply play a scale. That's perfectly well and good. Another option is to play specific licks that you like to use that work over any chord in that progression. Sticking to the rockabilly theme, maybe you'd play something like this. That works too, but let's say there's a third option, which I think is the most effective way to be as expressive as possible in genres like these where it's really just 3 chords. And that would be outlining the chord changes. And this is where I said you can sort of apply this to other areas of your guitar playing and even other genres. So, for example, let's stick with this A blues progression. The first thing you want to do is target certain intervals. And all an interval is a note in a given chord. So if you aren't familiar with intervals, of course, you can check out Guitar Super System, linked right down in the description, and you'll learn. But if we wanted to break down this A dominant 7 chord, we would know that it has an A, and it has a major third, which is a C sharp, and here's our 5th, which is an E, and then our flat 7, the G. So those are the 4 notes that we can target over this A chord, and primarily you want to target notes that are a little bit unique to the chord itself, and also distinguishing notes such as the flat 7 or the major third. So in that case, we know that our flat 7 is here or here, and we know our major third is right here and right here. With that information, we can then outline a chord. So we're going to stick with that for now, and then I'll show you how you can apply this over the next chord, which would be a D7. So with the D7, we have, again, look at it from the perspective of intervals. There's our root, major third is an F sharp, 5th is an A, flat 7 is a C. So in this same position that you're familiar with, say you're real nice and comfortable in this pentatonic position, we can find the D note, which would be right here, or we can find the F sharp note, which is right here, or here's the A, 5th, or again, that flat 7, that distinguishing note, which would be the C. So with that information, let's outline the D7 chord. So here's the A, and here's the D. So by itself, maybe we put a little rhythm to this. You can almost hear the... So if you can hear those chord changes when you're playing your single note melodies and improvising, that is usually a good sign that you're doing a good job playing through the chord changes. So that is really what I took away from examining rockabilly, and obviously this guitar really lends itself to that rockabilly sound because of this Bigsby bar. So to put a bow on this thing, our last chord would be the E7. Same approach here. We got the E as our root. Here is our G sharp for our third, major third that is. There's our B for our fifth. And there's the D for the flat 7. So with that in mind, we can actually take an approach. This would be just my recommendation. Instead of sticking around in this pentatonic position, this root position in A, we could opt to move away from our comfort zone just to add a little bit of emphasis on that turnaround. So instead of sticking to those notes down here, we could come up maybe around the 12th fret area, and let's find some of those distinguishing notes. And what you can do with these turnarounds as well is say this is the note that we want to target, that flat 7, the D, flat 7 of E. Maybe we want to bend towards that, but not necessarily hit it. So that's sort of a rockabilly move, a bluesy move if you want to call it that too. But this would be something that I would come up with. So instead of, you could do, and hit that major 6th, which is also a real nice note to hit in any sort of major blues. That brings us back to our root. So the whole thing might sound like this. Again, I'm going to play it without any chords and see if you can hear the harmony behind it. So there you have it, guys, a quick little lesson on rockabilly techniques to apply to your other areas of guitar playing. Outlining these chords can be a really simple way to get started with outlining other chord progressions that maybe are a little bit more complicated. So start with the simple 1-4-5 blues, maybe with a rockabilly twang if you want to check out this awesome master-built Framus, if you want to take a look at the specs on this thing. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. I hope this was a helpful lesson for you. Again, check out Guitar Super System, link down in the description as well if you want to learn more lessons from me like this. I appreciate your support, and until next time, keep shredding.